fire, fury.
What is going on? Welcome to Fuel Your Drive. I am your host, Josh York. The sun is shining today. It's beautiful. Gotta tell you, I love these windows. I love these windows in my office. Remember, as I've said before, it took me 15 years to be able to have windows in my office. All right, guys. So you know the deal. Please share this, leave a review. It'll mean the world to me. I'm doing this to help you. So that with that said, let's get into today's episode. And I want to talk about mastering, the art of decision making. Okay. And I'm going to give you some critical skills that you're going to need to master this, because without, making, important, spot on decisions in business, you're going to have some issues. And one of the key aspects of effective decision making is understanding that the decision making process, itself, you got to understand it, right? Understanding that is rule number one. That's the key. For me, it begins with a clear understanding of the problem and really, or the opportunity at hand. So I've learned taking time to define the problem in detail allows me to approach it from different angles and consider, obviously, what solutions I have in executing that. Now, next, what do you need to do? Gather information. You need to gather information. You need to be well educated. What I have found is relying both on qualitative and quantitative data will always help make a more successful, informed decision. Market research, looking at whether it's financial data, seeking from other experts in the industry. All of these can play a very significant role in your decision-making process, but you must have the information. Very, very important. Do not make a decision. Well, let me stop for a second. You can sometimes make a decision based on how you feel. Can it be wrong? Yes. There's always be a 50-50 chance, but it really comes down to just executing on it. You can always fix it, but if you are, educated on what you're making a decision and what it's based on, and you look at that information, that will be more helpful. Now, it's not just about the numbers and facts, okay? Intuition is also very powerful, which I just talked about, right? So I have always relied on my gut. And as I said, I've made some really, really big mistakes over my career. Big mistakes, some that have cost me hundreds of thousands of dollars. But at the end of the day, look, there's a price to pay to get to the other side. And, the difference is, are you going to learn from that mistake or you're not? I learned from them. I've never made them again, and you can't make them again, or that's going to be a problem. So it's really a matter of balancing, right? Intuition and the analytical approach. Now, I like to always say paralysis analysis, the analysis paralysis people, they're going to die very, very fast. Okay. If you're constantly thinking about what should I do? Is this right? Maybe this is not right. This is not what the numbers show. It's like when someone told me, I'll never forget this. A very successful person told me this a long time ago. He said to me, the business model sucks. It's never going to work. Like, you're not going to be able to do it. And my response to him was, okay, thanks for your feedback. Watch me. And here we are today, the largest in-home on-site and virtual personal training company in the world. So I have always learned to trust my intuition while seeking validation through data and obviously logical reasoning. Risk assessment is another critical aspect of decision-making. As someone, me, who takes lots of risks, right? Fortune will always favor the bold. You must take risks. I have also faced a lot of those consequences, right? So I've come to appreciate the importance of carefully evaluating risks and rewards. It's about understanding what's the outcome, weighing the probability of the success, and being prepared for the potential challenges that are going to possibly arise from that. So ethical consideration also plays a significant role in decision making. I have always realized that, a lot of the choices I make obviously are going to impact my business, but also the wider, the more the risk, it's also going to widen, obviously, any type of risk that could affect the community, stakeholders in the business. So I've always made sure any type of decision I've made, I want to make sure it's ethical, because if you're going to obviously make a decision and it's not ethical, it could obviously affect the business. And I always align with our core values. So I recommend everyone has core values within their company. Read them out every day. Let the team know what they are. Blast them on the wall. Make sure it's in everyone's face and align with those values, because that is very, very important. Okay, Now, let's talk about wrong decisions. Okay. I just touched on this a little bit, but I want to talk about it a little bit more. And I want you to understand this. I just said about making mistakes. You got to learn from them. Okay. Failure is a part of the process. Don't pay attention to everything on social media about being in business and how amazing it is. And all that stuff is actually the biggest lie in the world. Okay. Business is amazing if you love the challenges, if you love the pressure. Pressure does two things. What? Breaks pipes or makes diamonds. I like diamonds. I'm sure you like diamonds. You have to understand you are going to make many, many, many mistakes, but you have to understand you must learn from them. That's an opportunity for you to grow. But failure is part of the process because, you know, I have had some amazing people send me resumes. I actually hate resumes, but, you know, some of these people look so good on paper. But the fact of the matter is, I would hire someone who is an action taker, high energy, driven, has the most amazing attitude, who is willing to learn. Okay. Like I would hire that person over a Harvard grad. That's a fact. Okay. So that's very, very important to understand. Okay. So always make sure you do that. Next, look, I talk about this all the time, right? You know, really a very big important part is mastering your mind. Your mind is always going to play a very key role to this, right? Mindset is everything. But, you know, you need to also really master these skills. And what's the best way to master these skills? If you're listening to this podcast, you're the 1% in the world, right? You're trying to learn, you want to get better, you know, continue reading books, listening to audio books, going to workshops, being around other people. Like I am around a lot of very, very successful people that I honestly really don't associate with many people that don't run companies over 100 million. I'm in a fantastic group with a lot of very, very successful people, and I love it. And it helps me, and, you know, and I help them. You know, it works both ways, but, you know, mentors, advisors, right? They are always going to be instrumental in, you know, helping you with decision making. And sometimes it's great, you know, you can always bounce ideas off other people. I'm not saying that you have to listen to their advice, right? But you can bounce them off and get feedback and hear what they have to say and then evaluate that decision. But it's very, very important to understand that. Last one here is, look, being successful in decision making, it requires a combination of analytical thinking, intuition, risk assessment, ethical consideration, and a willingness to understand that you have to learn from your mistakes, right? So by you cultivating all these skills and continuously redefining the decision process, you're going to be able to navigate to the ever-changing entrepreneurial landscape with confidence, right? As I say, confidence changes everything. You must be confident and promise me one thing. Don't ever, ever quit. Guys, until next time, fuel your drive. Take care.
Legend. Do you know my name? My name is Legend.